Petra in Jordan is an ancient and beautiful city. In its heyday, it controlled one of the richest trade routes in the ancient world. But what allowed the city to survive on the edge of a desert? Archaeologist David Graff investigates how the Nabateans were masters of their environment.
There was a population of at least 10 to 20,000 people living in the Petra region, and they had to be supplied with the necessities of life, but that's a lot of people.
David thinks the secret to Petra's success lay with the Nabateans' unique ability to harness water from the world around them. Dotted around Petra are canyons like the Sikh that are natural water channels modified by the Nabateans. A barely visible water pipeline runs along the length of this winding passage until it passes underneath a faded carving. 2,000 years ago, these giant sculptures represented camels, led by a merchant on his way to do business. These pipelines fed fresh water to the center. But how did they get enough water to sustain an entire city of tens of thousands of people? Six miles north of Petra is a rocky outcrop called Baja, where David leads a team digging for answers. Today, the land beneath it is bone dry. But even so far from the city center, archaeologists like Zayad al-Salamin find hints of an extensive water network.
Rainfall was very limited, about 250 millimeters per year, and therefore they were able to collect every drop of water during this limited rainy season to be used throughout the year.
The mysterious remains of pipelines and forgotten dams cover the ground at Baja. What were they for? Zayad comes across a clue, a cavity cut into the rock. But he doesn't think this is for storing water. It's even more surprising, a wine press.
This is an advanced one. It consists of 3 major basins. First of all, grapes are placed in the central part of the press. Then it's pressed and squeezed by feet.
The number of water pipes and wine presses suggests something remarkable was going on here. David's team investigates another strange feature that lies nearby. As they dig beside this rock, they uncover a wall. It looks like a storage depot, suggesting that Baja was producing a lot of wine. David thinks it's time to throw away our old notions about these resourceful people.
The general assumption about the Nabateans is that they were nomads, didn't drink wine, and were not involved in agriculture. But we know that's not the case now.
The discoveries at Baja prove that the Nabateans were able to harness so much water. They didn't just make wine. They had enough to plant and grow extensive vineyards here.
What I find so ingenious about the Nabateans is they could take a desolate landscape and find little niches to develop for agriculture.
So how did this water system work? The Nabateans created an impressive water network, channeling water to where it was needed from miles around. In the city center, they built a tunnel into the rock and dams to reroute the water flow. Engineers lined the Sikh passageway with clay pipes. The ends of the pipes were tapered to create a high-pressure supply. But across the kingdom, they created cisterns lined with hydraulic concrete to store the precious water underground. David thinks that this same technology extended far beyond the city center.
Most places have a spring. There's no spring here. The amazing thing is this is rainwater, and the rainwater is very minimal. So it took a lot of creativity, of engineering skill to channel that water into reservoirs and preserve it. And that's the amazing achievement of Baja.
Nabatean ingenuity built a rich and powerful city, an artificial paradise in a dry